for social media to his release, channeling his inner Jason Whitlock, saying he's free and he's hungry. I know exactly how he feels. He says, no pity, just work. Marcellus, I want to know from you, do you buy that Cam Newton, coming off this embarrassment of being released by the Carolina Panthers, will he be all in on football moving forward?
Man, I've already purchased that. I got the receipts to show that Cam Newton has always been all in on football. It's unfortunate that there is a narrative out there. A lot of times people want to marry effort and achievement, and then they exaggerate that and take it to a place that I think is really dangerous, where people say, oh, Cam Newton is blessed by the gods, and just because of his physical nature, he just rolls out the bed and is Cam Newton. People don't understand the work it takes to just be on a football team, a scrub, a sorry guy, the Gatorade passer, let alone a starter, let alone a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, let alone the MVP of the entire league. Cam Newton has always been all in on football. Now, he's had greater aspirations or other things that he was interested in as well, but that shouldn't be an indictment on his effort and his commitment to the game of football. Being a guy who was lesser of a football player than Cam Newton, I still gave it my all and didn't reach the same heights as him. So I respect Cam Newton and his work ethic. Is he going to be all in? Is he going to be hungry? Is he going to be appreciative and humbled by this experience? Absolutely. But let's not act like the MVP wasn't all in before.
All right, listen, he's been all in at times, I'm sure. It's just like me and my diet. A lot of days I'm all in. Some days I'm not. And again, on a more serious note, I'm going to reference a coach that you and I both know well, Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer used to say in Kansas City all the time. I can remember when Neil Smith, great defensive end for the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe in like 1997, they may have let Neil go, or 96 at some point. And Marty's question about Neil Smith, Neil opened a restaurant in Kansas City and it was a little nightclub at night as well. Great Louisiana restaurant he brought to Kansas City. And Marty's question was, hey, man, you can only serve one master. You can't serve two. You can't be a restaurateur and a great football player in terms of the kind of money you want to get paid and continue to be paid. And I'll never forget that. And this is how coaches think. And so when I look at Cam Newton with the fashion, with the hairstyle, with just everything, with him saying at the combine when he came out, I want to be a global icon. Football isn't enough for everybody. Football wasn't enough for me as a mediocre, mid-major college football player. My coaches used to look at me and be like, oh, this football thing ain't enough for you. And it wasn't. And there were some guys, again, you don't want to be too smart or too ambitious, and you can run yourself out of football, because football is best played by people without options or believe this is the only thing that matters to them in their lives. And that's why guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady reach such high levels, Ray Lewis, guys like that. And so to me, for Cam Newton, I've never felt on a consistent basis was he ever all in on football. I think right now he's motivated, he's embarrassed. How long will that last? I'll start believing Cam's all in on football. And I say this in all seriousness, when he cuts his hair.
My God. You know what's funny about this? These items of perception that we use to now throw on him as it weighs him down in terms of his success and his career, which is really unfortunate. Let's be real about this. Like, whatever Cam Newton is interested in terms of fashion and wearing scarves or whatever rapper he wants to dress like,
Mary Poppins,
that doesn't cause a Liz Frank injury. Like, let's be real. That doesn't throw your shoulder out because you dress like A$AP Rocky. Like, they don't go together, but they're easy and convenient narratives for us on the outside to attach and map to him. I always tell you the story of when I started DJing day one of my NFL career. And as I climbed the mountain, I kept DJing. And when I was getting 10 sacks and 13 sacks and being a part of the franchise as one of the faces, DJing, owners are telling me, can you DJ my party? I'm doing ESPYs, everything. And then when you start to decline, they say, oh, he wasn't focused. He was distracted by the DJing. I DJed when I was in the Pro Bowl, but now it's a problem. So I think it's just a convenient reason for us to say someone is in decline because of X. We always got to attach blame. But in this situation, the two don't correlate. He's all in. His success has shown us. His ability has shown us. And now he just needs an opportunity to continue to show us.
Listen, I'm going to take Michael Jordan, who I think is the most accomplished individual athlete, other than Tom Brady, maybe ever, or he's right there with anybody. Michael Jordan wasn't always consistently all in because he had so much talent. He could party harder. He could gamble harder. He could push the envelope in his personal life. And he certainly built an amazing business with Nike and the Air Jordan shoes and all that. But there was great synergy to me in terms of what Michael Jordan did, in terms of being a guy that people wanted to play with and play for, the partying, the gambling and all that. That goes along with locker room camaraderie. Selling Nike shoes, that's all part of his basketball vision. That's a part of him being a great basketball player. I think you can have other endeavors and still achieve at the highest level as an athlete. But with Cam, to me, the whole fashion thing and just how far he takes it, it doesn't work at that position from a leadership perspective. I don't have a problem with Cam wanting to do other things. There's a time and a place for it. And right now, in the middle of he's only 31, 32 years old. Right now, in the middle of his career, I think all of these guys should be trying to max out at the quarterback position as football players because there's so much enormous wealth to be garnered from it. I don't think you need all the other outside activities. This isn't 1978 or 1974 when Lenny Dawson had to be a television reporter at the same time he was putting together a Hall of Fame football career. Cam, to me, has never fully committed to the game of football, and it's going to be he's going to have a nice career. He's been an MVP of the league. He's played in the Super Bowl. He's made a bunch of money. Has he lived up to his full potential? And I get it. The injuries are definitely a part of it. That's maybe 60% of the reason why he may not accomplish all that he could. But this other 40% that's out there, I think some of it has to do with his lack of focus and not being all in.
Wow. 2015, he wins the MVP. 2018, he puts himself in the running for another MVP. How many multiple MVPs are walking around on this planet? He puts himself in that conversation and gets injured. And all of a sudden we say, what outfit was he wearing? Because that's the issue right there. Versus, I played with guys who didn't leave the house, all in on football, eat, sleep, drink football. And coach, when the guy was struggling, coach would come to him and say, you know what you need to do? Relax a little bit. You need to get out a little bit. Hang with the guys. Go have wings and beers with the guys. It never is enough when you're not successful. So whatever your behavior is, whatever your attributes are, if you're successful, we're fine with it. Russell Westbrook, dress how you want as long as you're out there getting triple doubles. When you have a problem with someone or an issue or the team is not doing as well, all of a sudden we start looking at his V-necks a little different. I think Cam is just falling victim to another cosmetic response to what his game is. He's been injured. No one can predict will he be healthy or injured again. But we need to stop indicting him in terms of his work ethic and in terms of his talent, because when the guy is healthy, the guy is all world.
All right, Marcel, we don't have as much time, but I do want to address this about Cam Newton. What's the next best landing spot for Cam Newton? I think there's an obvious, clear choice out there. I think Cam Newton to the Miami Dolphins and Brian Flores is a home run opportunity for Cam Newton. I think it's a potential home run opportunity for the Miami Dolphins. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a guy that, you can't really build around that. The Dolphins would like to draft Tua Tagovailoa. That gives Cam an opportunity to go play for a team that really finished the season well last year, has made some really nice moves this offseason. I would love to see Cam Newton down with Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins. I think they could do some things in a division that's up for grabs. And if Cam can't grab that position and be their quarterback for the future, I think he could go down there, have a great year, Tua red shirts basically this year. That's what he'd like to do. And then set Cam up to go someplace else for big money the following year. I love Cam in Miami.
I love that destination as well. But that will be my plan B. Miami is a great situation. You talked about the quarterback room right now, how Cam could really stand out and help that team continue to establish their culture and winning ways. But there's one place better. And I know we're all out here participating in social distancing, but I'm sitting right where Cam Newton needs to be next year in Los Angeles as a Charger. He can stay in my pool house right here. I'll go inside. We'll figure out what we'll do this show. But Cam Newton needs to be a Charger. This is a top 10 offense, Whitlock. This is a 6th-ranked defense that has added players to the defensive and offensive side. If you talk about Pro Bowl starters on the offensive line, like a Trey Turner, and then you talk about adding Chris Harris Jr., this is a team that's gotten better and was 12-4 last time we saw them fully healthy. And they have a parallel understanding of what injuries can do to you and your reputation. 12-4 a couple years ago, 2018, and then we saw last year a team that was 5-5, and then the wheels fell off. Well, Cam Newton, 2018, he's 6-2 as a starter, MVP candidate. And then the injuries occurred and the wheels fell off. I think this is a marriage that is made in heaven for both of those guys to get back to where they are, which is very talented roster and player that can get over the hump together.
All right, speak for yourself from the crib, presented by Hyundai. We're going out to Denver next. We're going to go to Mark Schlereth's home and talk about the NFL draft possibly being delayed. All right.